It's been a while since I've been on. Kind of been laying low. Not even really paying attention to too much of any of the Watchmen's videos. Here and there, I'll pop one on, but I've been kind of taking a little bit of a break. Um, I did just see Bro Scott's short clip, and something grabbed my attention. I put some of this information together in the last couple of days, and figured just now's a good time to try to piece it together and show you some stuff. And maybe you guys will have some comments, or maybe something that I show you trigger something in your mind where you can make some connections that I'm not seeing. So we're all aware that the UN conference on two-state solution between Israel and Palestine, that's going to take place June 17th to 20th. It's going to have 150 nations, I believe, that are going to be there discussing and possibly voting, I guess, to divide Israel. And that's a big deal, and I think that's a big part of what IPEC Goat's all about. So I want to show you something here in IPEC Goat, and we'll go from there. So the scene here, Lily, represents a full moon, the bride of Christ. So many layers in this video. But anyway, surrounding this circle here is actual honey. And that's usually associated with Rosh Hashanah. But at the same time, I don't know what I did with it. But anyway, I don't know what I did with it. But the full moon in June is also known as the honeymoon. So here we see the strawberry moon, and then the following month in July we have the buck moon. And I think we might be seeing both of them represented in this scene here in IPEC Goat. So here, we'll make this a little bigger real quick. And yeah, so on the back wall we see the word D-I-V and then I-D-E. Over here it looks, very calm and peaceful, and over here it looks very hectic and chaotic. Let's put it that way. And the word divide is cut in half by the rabbit, which I think could represent the buck moon. So as we watch this scene, the room gets dark. We see the exit sign lit up with this reddish, strawberryish possibly, light coming from the outside, which might represent the honeymoon or the strawberry moon before we get to the buck moon. So as Lily drops the apple, which represents Israel, it rolls 7 times. I've gone over this several times over the years, and slowed it down as slow as possible. And the little yellow circle that you see is the way that you can count how many rolls once the apple hits the ground. So once she drops it, immediately you see the dot. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hits Obama's shoe. So 7 rolls and a 7 on Obama's shoe lets me to believe that this represents Israel. 77-year birthday, which just passed. You can see the dot over here, I guess from her thumbprint or whatever, the honey that was on the apple. But like Brother Scott pointed out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So he's thinking that's a 42, but at the same time, it could also be a 6 for June. So June, and then the leaf has a shadow, and it makes a 1, 7. So June 17th. Now we just looked at June 17th because that's when the UN is meeting to discuss the two-state solution. Right there. So I guess the festivities, if I'll call it that, it's from the 17th to the 20th. So when we come back here, we see that the apple splits and you got a 2 seed, 1 seed. Now, with the time zone, the 20th and 21st are basically interchangeable depending on where you live. But something I found interesting here, let's see if I can do it this way. Okay. Something I found interesting here is when you take March 14th, 1948, when Israel became a nation, and you go to Saturday, June 21st, you get 28,223. So you get your 322, you got 2 8s for 88. But what I found interesting is the 77 that I just pointed out, 7 rolls, hits the 7 on the shoe, 77, for 77 years, Israel's been a nation. But you also get a 3 and a 7. And that's what we see right here with the 7 and the C. 3, 7. So I found that interesting. I don't know if that means anything. It's just another one of those crazy connections. But other than that, I'm going to move over to this. Let's see. Okay. So the word divide. The D is a 4. The I is a 9. The V is a 22, or 2 plus 2 for 4. If I add that up, you get the 17. When I look at the calendar here, something I'm looking at, another date that I'm looking at, is the same date that Brother Dana's been pointing out. I saw his last video. I think it was his last, and I thought it was incredible, all the connections he's come up with. So something that I'm looking at here is, here's the full moon on the 11th. But if you look at this another way, let me find, where is that? Here we go. I'll just pull it up here. If you look at this another way, what am I doing? Okay, perfect. So the full moon is on the 11th of June. That's your strawberry moon, that's your honeymoon. Okay? When you look at this, okay, the exit lights up as the room's getting dark. But instead of looking at this as DIV, what I was looking at this as D for 4, W as in weeks before the buck moon. And 4 weeks before the buck moon, you got your full moon here. Here's 1 week. Here's 2 weeks. Then you drop down to here, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. And that's the full moon for the buck moon. So I'm not sure if this is showing me that, like, the catching away or the exit happens on the 11th, and then the division starts to occur, and then by this point here in July, chaos ensues. I don't know. It's just something that I've been thinking about, and I'm not really sure how to look at that. But that's 2 different ways that I was looking at what's going on here on the back wall. When the apple splits, we see the 2 seeds, 1 seed. So I was looking at this too. And we've got 25 petals. And then on the inside, you've got 12 or 21. So maybe on the 21st, the day following the division of Israel is when the birth of the 7-year tribulation starts. I'm not sure. But yeah, I did want to point this out. This is a little bit better of a picture of what I was talking about. So you can see the 17 on the shoe. Yeah, I don't know. What else? I wanted to show you this too. So I think this is pretty interesting. Say goodbye to 1.5 C or 153 fish. If you look in June 12th, 11th going into the 12th, the moon is in the center of the bow of the horseman. And here you go. The moon, the strawberry moon, the honeymoon, is lined up right in the center of where the bow would be. So I don't know. That's pretty interesting as well. What else? There's a couple other things I wanted to show you. Just because I'm making a video now and I don't do it too often. Here's one more thing I have for you. This scene right here. When Obama's looking down at the floor, he could also be looking at his nose. And I thought V for volcano, and then this looks like a volcano erupting. I know that Mount Etna was erupting, and I think also Kilauea has been erupting in the past week, I believe. I did see something about it, but like I said, I haven't really been paying attention. Just needed to take a break from things. But that's all I really do have for you, I believe. So I don't know. I'm looking at the 11th. Um, and if nothing happens there, then I'm going to be looking at, you know, all the way here to July. The buck moon like we did last year. Um, I don't know, 17th right here. When the meeting starts, here's the 3/4 moon like they show us here in the Google Doodle. I'm not sure. I'm just pointing that out also. But yep, thanks for watching the video if you do, and I appreciate any comments you might have. I'm gonna try to pay attention a little bit more now that we're getting closer to some things. So I'll talk to you guys soon. God bless.